Chopping it up with Ramel. Chopping it up with Ramel. No notes, straight from the throat. Chopping it up with Ramel. Chopping it up with Ramel. Chopping it up with Ramel. No notes, straight from the throat. Chopping it up with Ramel. Chopping it up with Ramel. Chopping it up with Ramel. No notes, straight from the throat. Chopping it up with Ramel.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to another edition of Chopping It Up with Ramel. No notes, straight from the throat. Well, hey, let's get started, man. Before I get started, first and foremost, I want to give a happy holidays, happy Thanksgiving to everybody out there. I know we all have reasons to be thankful, and I am. I want to be thankful for my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, for giving me the opportunity to do what I do, whether that is just be the man that I am or sharing and enlightening people and entertaining people with my sports passion. I want to give thanks to my wife and my children for their ongoing support and their love. I want to give thanks to my sisters who's constantly sharing my posts, making comments, just giving me love. I want to give thanks to my nieces and nephews on my wife's side, my side of the family, that just constantly give comments and show me love. I mean, it means a great deal to me that I have family behind me. I want to give thanks to my family that tunes in out there. And I want to give thanks to the Facebook fans out there that is constantly giving me ideas, sending me comments, and giving me ideas what to talk about. But I also want to show some love and give thanks to some friends that are very instrumental in it. I want to give thanks to my man Fred, who's always giving me ideas on how I can do this behind the scenes of Facebook and how I can brand myself and just giving me insight. Man, I appreciate that, little bro. I want to give thanks to Maury for lacing me with a nice intro and always talking about when we can do this, when we can do that. And then there's Ali, man. He watches from a distance, and man, one day he texted me out of the blue and presented something with me that just blew me away, and we started chopping it up, and he gave me some ideas too. And I want to give thanks to coworkers, man, that just constantly, man, having water cooler talks with me, keeping me motivated, encouraging me, challenging me to be the very best, man. And I'll be remiss if I didn't give thanks to this crew, man, and that's my Deep Hoops crew. I mean, my Deep Hoops crew, man, we talked about NBA for quite a few years, man, and we talk on such high levels and gets deep with it, man, that it's also inspired me to do what I'm doing now. And I want to give thanks to the little homie DMT, man. I met this guy about 4 years ago, man. He's inspired me to follow a dream. So I just want to give thanks to him, man. So with all that said, I'm sure there's some people out there I may have missed. It's not that you're not on the radar. I just don't remember. It's just, I want to thank you guys too. I do want to thank you. You know what I mean? So let's get right to it, man. I mean, today is Turkey Day, and what a day it's going to be, man. Just watch the calorie count. They say this is a day where calorie count is double, so just watch the calorie count. But we're going to be blessed to have 3 football games on today. First one, clearly going to have playoff implications, and that's Minnesota going into Detroit. Right now, Minnesota is coming back. They started out as the darling of the league, 5-0, and then it lost 4 in a row, and then it came back and won. So, and Detroit has been steady and holding that top spot in the division. So this one will have playoff implication. This is an opportunity for Detroit to maybe distance themselves a little bit, or Minnesota staying right in it. So this one's going to be a tough one. Look for it to go down the wire. I like Detroit. But the game of the afternoon is clearly going to be Washington going into the nation's capital. And before I go further, I mean, for those who are watching right now, listen, I'm taking calls. You want to call up, talk about your football team. I'm going to talk a little NBA. You want to talk about your NBA team? By all means, call in. I'm taking all calls. All right? Washington Redskins is going into Dallas, into the Jerry's world. They're going to be looking to avenge the loss that they had some time ago, back a couple of weeks back in Washington. listen, I heard on a show that Michael Irvin says that he wants the Cowboys to get a loss to get it out of their system. Listen, I disagree with that theory. I believe you play your game and you win. You play to win every game. You win every game as possible because from each win you can lose, and from each win it can grow your confidence and even improve your skill sets so that you can keep winning. You know, you can't tell me because the 18-0 Patriots didn't lose a game prior to going into the playoffs, that's why they lost to the Giants. No, I believe Manning just had one heck of a game, threw one heck of a pass. That was one heck of a catch by Tyree. That's just the bottom line. I don't think it's because they were undefeated and needed a loss before the playoffs. So I say, you know, Dallas, if you're for real, just keep winning. Just keep winning, keep winning, keep winning. Dallas have 6 games left. They have Redskins today and the Eagles at the end. I believe they may suffer losses, and either both games or definitely one of those games. But right now, I wouldn't bet against Dallas. They're playing strong. I made a comment to a good friend of mine, Sean. I said to him that I think Redskins get Dallas this weekend. But if Dak is still playing like he's week to week, look for him to come out strong because he's been strong all season long. When I say that he's been strong all season long, he's been my MVP so far for the last 4 or 5 weeks. And this might be the first time, if I had a vote, I know this for sure, I would vote for him for MVP as well as Rookie of the Year. This guy is making it happen. I know he's got some help with Elliott back there, but the quarterback, I think he's the one. He's making it happen. All right? So, with that said, should be a great game. I think it comes down to the wire. I'm liking what I see. I think Washington pulls it out, but we'll see what happens. I believe Washington may pull it out, but we'll see what happens. All right, going into the night game, you got Pittsburgh. They're going to Indianapolis. They're going to face the Colts. They're going to be without the services of Andrew Luck. Indianapolis is a game behind Houston, and Pittsburgh is battling Baltimore and what might be the worst division in football right now, as they're both tied for the division lead. Don't see a wild card coming out of there. So I look for Pittsburgh to try to come out strong. But I question you guys, man. You Pittsburgh fans and you NFL fans. Man, I go back to the Steel Curtain days, man. This has got to be the worst Pittsburgh Steelers defense that I've seen ever. Ever. I mean, they just don't seem like they have it. I'm not sure if it's personnel or is it the play call. I'm not sure. I hate to think that Tomlin has run his course here in Pittsburgh, but I just don't see it, man. And even with a backup quarterback, I wouldn't be surprised that this game is close with Indianapolis tonight. But this is a game that Pittsburgh just needs to go in there, stomp them out, and get the win and come on out, man. Because they don't need to be into a dogfight on the road, making this game closer than what it needs to be. Just that simple. They don't need to be doing that. All right, so those are the 3 games you have on the line today. Going forward this weekend, we'll talk more about that tomorrow and Saturday about the upcoming games, although there's a big game with the Eagles on Monday night with Green Bay, which is a fallen product. I still think Mike McCarthy has run his course, and he should be gone. But we'll see what happens. The Giants, they got a... Some might think it's an easy game, but it could be a trap game as they take on the Cleveland Browns. Somebody's going to lose to Cleveland. I mean, their chances of going 0-16, it looks likely, but I doubt if it happens. I really doubt if it happens, but it looks likely. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens going forward. I want to move along to the NBA, to the association, that is. Man, there was 13 games on Thanksgiving Eve night last night. And what a performance by 2 of the better teams in the league. Are we on course to see the Cleveland and Golden State in the finals for the 3rd consecutive year? Well, I tell you what, they played like it last night. Cleveland at home took on Portland Trailblazers, who had lost to the Knicks the night before. They beat up on them 137 and 125. But the amazing feat here was They scored 81 points in the first half. And Kevin Love, I want to repeat this. He's now holds the record for the second highest score total in a quarter by any player. By any player with 34 points. He lit them up for 34 points in the first quarter. I'm getting some text messages. Let's see what's going on here. Who could this be? Okay, all right. I appreciate you tuning in. I like that. Okay, but let me just respond to this real quick before I go on with that. Maybe I can get this individual to call up. But yeah, Kevin Love is now second to Klay Thompson with the highest scoring total of any quarter with 34 points. He came out the gate blazing, man. Just blazing. I mean, I don't know if they were setting him up, feeding him, or whatever the case is, but he had the hot hand. And when you have the hot hand, I played ball, you feed the hot hand. That's how it goes. You just feed the hot hand. You know, LeBron, he had another triple-double. And this game wasn't as close as it was, man. I mean, they won by 12, but going into the fourth quarter, they had a 20-plus lead. It was just crazy. It was crazy. So, and then they scored 81 in the first half, and the Golden State Warriors, they took on the Los Angeles Lakers, the depleted Los Angeles Lakers. This is the last team to beat the Golden State Warriors a couple of weeks ago. They were without the services of D'Angelo Russell and Julius Randle, and they went into Oracle only to get spanked. But I would not be discouraged by that if I'm the Lakers. They lost 149 to 106. 149 to 106 as Golden State has won 9 in a row. And they also scored 80 points in the first half. When does that happen, Facebook? When does this happen, friends and family? When has this happened, chopping it up with Ramel fans? When has this been seen before in the NBA where two teams have scored 80 points in the first half or more on the same night? Wow. And it just so happened to be the two teams that are probably heading to the finals once again, Cleveland and Golden State. And by the way, when's the last time we seen two teams with a trio of 20 points or more? Yes, a trio of 20 points or more. Cleveland have 3 players with Kyrie Irving leading the way, LeBron and Kevin Love, all averaging 20 points or more this season. Golden State has 3 players averaging 20 points or more this season, and Klay, Steph, and Durant. When have we seen that? When have we seen that, Facebook? When have we seen that, fans, family, friends? When have we seen that before in the NBA? Just tremendous accomplishments. Tremendous accomplishment by both teams. They look like they're on course to clash for a third consecutive finals. But if there's a team that's going to have something to say about that, could it be the Los Angeles Clippers, who currently won their 7th game on the road last night, currently holds the best record in the NBA right now? Could this be the year of the Clippers? Could this be the year of the Clippers? I think the Clippers are cursed, but can this be the year with Blake and Chris Paul being available for free agency at the end of the season? Is this the year, or does this team breaks up? Will they have something to say about Golden State going to the finals, or Cleveland winning another finals? Or is it San Antonio, who won their 8th game last night on the road against Charlotte, who's got the 3rd best record in the West behind the Clippers and Golden State? Do they have something to say? One thing you know about them, they're tested. They have some veterans. They have leadership there. They have pop. They've been there. Will they have something to say? Should be interesting. Is there a team out there that can test Cleveland? Is there a team that's going to get better, get stronger? Can Toronto test them? Can Atlanta, who won last night, can they get into their winning ways? Can they test them? Could Chicago test them? Are the only teams that can test Cleveland? Are they out west? Can Boston out East test them as they regain their winning ways in Boston since the return of Al Horford and Jay Crowder? Can they test them? Or are we just heading to a third final of Cleveland and Golden State? Who wants to see that? I do. Who wants to see that? Who wants to see that? I do. Why not? If that's the best the NBA has to offer, why not? It would be better if the Knicks was there, but that's a different topic. Well, who's going to test them? Listen, I want to give some acknowledgement to Anthony Davis, man. This is a team that 2 years ago made the playoffs as an AFC, lost to Golden State as they went on to win the championship. You know, they started out the season 2-10. Drew Holiday, he wasn't playing due to his wife going through some medical procedures, some surgery, and pretty serious. So he was there with her, and I commend him. I mean, hey, as husbands, you know, your wife's first, man. But he's come back to propel his team to a 4-game winning streak. Now, Anthony Davis is quietly putting up numbers. He's been regarded as one of the top 10 players out there. He's putting up numbers that's just unbelievable. And they got a young phenom by the name of Tim Frazier that I think is most improved player. That's making it hard for Drew Holiday to get back into the starting lineup. But can they make a surge as they started out 2-10? And can they make a surge? They now won 4 in a row. They're 6-10 with the last 3 teams in the West currently holding playoff spots at 500. Can they make a surge to get into the playoff races? That's a team to keep an eye on. Hey, I see the messages. Happy Thanksgiving to you, cuz. If you like, call up the show. I mean, go Eagles. Yes, you know, they play Monday night against Green Bay. But if you want to call up the show and ask questions, please call in. But can Anthony Davis lead this team into the playoff races? That's something to watch out. That is something to watch out for. I got my eye on it. I definitely do. I'm looking at Minnesota being one of the most disappointing teams in the league. You know, they have a lot of young talent over there. Karl Anthony Towns, Andrew Wiggins, 2 number 1 picks. You have also what's the other team? You got other player. You got Zach LaVine, the 2-time champion, slam dunk champion. You got a nice pass first point guard in Rubio that won't get in anybody's way. You got Tibbs, who's a heck of a coach, very respectable. But they can't seem to get out of their way. Is Tibbs, this is the question, and I know I'm probably going to spark something with this, but is Tibbs the coach for this team? And I bring that up. No knock on Tibbs. I think he's one heck of a coach. Would he be better suited with veterans? Because on a team that's full of one-and-dones, Karl Anthony Towns, Wiggins, Rubio never went to college, Zach LaVine, Shabazz, Chris Dunn, do they still need to learn the game? And the question is Tibbs a teacher of the game, or is he an X and O's guy that says, let's execute this? Because I believe that they still need to learn the game. And that is the purpose of college basketball, because all the coaches in the college ranks are teachers. And there's no teachers in the NBA, at least not enough of them. So is Tibbs the right guy for the job? You know, I applaud the Lakers going out there getting Luke, because I thought Luke would be the right guy for that job, because I think he's a teacher. And the Lakers boast the same similar problems as Minnesota by having a lot of one and dones. The difference is they went out there and got a Luau Dame. You know, even Moscov, he never played college basketball. He came in as a youngster, but he's playoff tested. Being around LeBron helps. But I question Minnesota. Is Tibbs the right guy for the job? If you're out there, let me know. I'd like to hear from you. Is Tibbs the right guy for the job? I see Al Davis, a good buddy of mine. He's tuning in, watching the show. He says they need a veteran. I agree. They need a veteran. You know, last year they had Kevin Garnett on the sidelines that was helpful for Karl Anthony Towns. When he came to the sideline, he had somebody to be in the air. There was also Tayshaun Prince there, a good wing guy. Remember, he was a champion on those great Detroit teams. When Wiggins came over to the sideline, he was in his ear. There's no veterans there. Could be a problem. You know, no matter how great of a coach you are, you need a quality veteran on the team. You need a quality veteran on the team. Is Minnesota truly lacking a veteran that can make a difference? Or is Tibbs the right guy for the job? It's just something to keep an eye on. Something to keep an eye on right now. All right? Something to keep an eye on. The Lakers, man, they're off to a surprising start, but without the services of Russell and Randall, it was very challenging for them last night up in Oracle against Golden State. They play Golden State again Friday. Hopefully those two can get well soon. I like what I see. There was a lot of questions going on around the sports world yesterday. Are the Lakers for real? Can they sustain this run? Could they be a playoff team? Will they be there towards the end of the season as one of the top 8? Listen, I think Luke Walton is a heck of a coach. Last year this time, when he was filling in for Steve Kerr, Golden State was undefeated, and we was talking about him being coach of the year. What he's doing with the Lakers right now, even though they're 8-8 right now, to me, he's still coach of the year. What he's doing. The guy can flat out coach. I think he's one of the better young minds of the game, along with Brad Stevens in Boston. But this LA team, I think if they're healthy, and that goes with every team, if you're healthy, you can always be successful. But if they're healthy, I think they could be around. They can be a contender. They could be a contender for an 8th spot. I really think they can. Will they get it? It remains to be seen. Because, again, you got the Pelicans coming on strong. Utah is hovering around there. You know, so I say this, Dallas is coming out. So really it may be only one playoff spot up for grabs. And I think between the Lakers, Utah, and maybe Denver, but I look for New Orleans to make a surge. That could be interesting going down the stretch. We're going to see what's going on there. The New York Knicks, they're now 7-7. They've won 4 games at the Garden. They have a home-and-home series with Charlotte. They're in a playoff spot as we speak. This has been the most buzz around the Garden since the Jeremy Lin days. Can they sustain this run and be a playoff team? Me as a Knicks fan, yes. I think they will be there. I think they will not only make the playoffs, but I think they'll capture a number 6 seed. So this should be interesting. Look for a lot of talk and a lot of hype to surround them going forward. Phil Jackson would normally speak out of turn somewhere, maybe to take attention from the team, put it all on him. I don't know what Phil is thinking most of the time, but look for New York to stay relevant. I think that they should be a top 8 team. Dwight Howard and Atlanta Hawks, they were on a 3-game losing streak. They bounced back yesterday, beating Indiana, and what a big game for the big fella, Dwight Howard. 23 points, 20 rebounds. You know, stars, when stars need to be stars, they need to be stars. Stars need to play like stars when stars need to be stars. And that was it. Stars need to play like stars when stars need to be stars. And that's what he did. Came out big. Millsap, he chipped in 18. So I tell you what, man, it's only been a month of the NBA season, and it's been exciting. It really has. You might have James Harden lead the league in scoring and assists, something that hasn't taken place in a long time. LeBron James, he's flirting with averaging a triple-double for the season. Westbrook is flirting with averaging a triple-double for a season. I mentioned the 2 teams having a trio of scoring 20 points or more. Scoring is up in the NBA. It looks like everybody's averaging 105, 110, 115 points a game. I mean, scoring is up. Should the referee blow the whistle? Should they blow the whistle? Or should they continue this scoring? What do you like to see out there, Facebook fans? What do you like to see? Al Davis, he tuned in and talking about D. Wade. Can he put them on his back? I tell you what, I think Chicago captures a playoff spot, and I don't think they squeak in. I think Chicago gets in the playoffs, period. And it's not just so much D. Wade, but his presence make a difference. But Jimmy Butler is loose. This guy is showing why he was an Olympian. He's showing why he should be an all-star player. And with the addition of D. Wade, who's possibly teaching them how to play the game or showing them how to be a winner, let's put it that way, showing them how to be a winner, because who's more playoff tested than D. Wade? Not many out there. You're showing them how to be a winner. And then you have Rondo, who I think is their gift and a curse, because he's the guy that can help set everybody up and facilitate a game. But in today's game, the point guard has to be a penetrating scoring guard. And Rondo's scoring ability is still one to desire. But I do think that D. Wade will help Chicago capture a 6 seed or higher. Let me repeat that. A 6 seed or higher. Health permitted, of course. So, like I said, it's been off to a good season. Now, Miami, on the other hand, that's a different story. I don't want to kick a team while they're down, but they botched this stuff. Letting D. Wade go, they botched it up. I don't think I would have done that. I think that I would have treated D. Wade like Kobe. I don't think D. Wade was looking to back up the Brinks truck and get him for everything. But I do think he wanted his share, but I think he would have been reasonable. D. Wade at this point here, he has nothing to play for. Other than he's still young and he can get out there. He's walking into the Hall of Fame when his career is done 4 years later. This is a guy that's a winner, man. He's got 3 championships, 5 trips to the finals, man. This guy's a winner. He's 3-2 in the finals, man. I know he doesn't have no league MVP. He don't need one. From what I've seen in NBA sports, he's my 3rd shooting guard on that list. Yeah, I know there's the West of them times, but from what I've seen, it's MJ, Kobe, and D. Wade. And I'm putting D. Wade, yes, over Clyde Drexler. Any comments, any calls, any thoughts? You call me up on that. As I said, I'm putting D. Wade over Clyde Drexler. Flash was as good as anybody. D. Wade averages 20-plus points for his career, and in a 3-point shooting league, doesn't even touch the 3-point line until this year. Until this year. If injuries didn't derail him, we don't know what we've seen from this guy. He plays as hard as anybody. Anybody. He goes to the basket against trees or whatever the case is, as much as anybody. When I think about his ability to go to the basket, I only think of a few players that are his size and smaller, man. And that's Westbrook and Iverson. So D-Wade, yes, I think that he carries Chicago into the playoffs. Well, this is going to do it for my first live edition of Chopping It Up with Ramel on Facebook. Hey, I appreciate the comments that was coming in. I got a few texts. Maybe next time we'll get some callers. So until then, man, enjoy your day. Enjoy your bird. Have a nice gobble day. I'll see you back in 24. Peace and blessings. And this is Chopping It Up with Ramel. Remember, no notes, straight to the throat.